Okay, so this is the second part of the hypothesis worksheet. We are going to be taking the independent variables and the dependent variables and constructing a hypothesis for each scenario. All right, so starting with number 1. So the scenario was, what effect does high temperature have on radish germination? We determined that our independent variable was temperatures and our dependent variable was radish growth or radish germination. So today, remember, we construct our hypothesis using if independent variable, then dependent variable. So I'm going to start out with if, and then remember, we construct using our rough draft. So if independent variable, which we said was temperature, then dependent variable, radish growth or radish germination. And we're going to read it. If temperatures, then radish germination. Okay, well, that doesn't make any sense, so we're going to have to go back and edit it. So we're going to say, if temperatures increase, then radish germination will increase. And we're going to read it again. If temperatures increase, then radish germination will increase. That's a good working hypothesis. All right, on our next one, we have, what effect does studying with music have on student test scores? Well, remember, we start out with if, then we do our independent variable. So it's studying with music, then dependent variable, which is student test scores. And we read it. If studying with music, then student test scores. Well, that doesn't make any sense, so we have to go back and reword it. So we're going to say, we need our hypothesis to be as specific as possible. So we're going to say, if students study with music, then student test scores will increase. So if students study with music, then student test scores will increase. All right, number 3. What effect does color food food color have on the amount of fish or food fish eat? I'm having trouble reading today. So we're going to start out with if, then our independent variable, food color, then dependent variable, amount of food eaten. And we read it. If food color, then amount of food eaten. Well, that does not make sense, so we need to reword it. So we're going to say if, and we're going to try to reword this. If the color of the food changes, then the amount of food eaten will also change, or we could say will increase, or we could say will decrease. Either one. Any of those would be options that you could choose, as long as you are being specific. Number 4, what effect does light have on plant growth? So we're going to start out, if independent variable, which is amount of light, then our dependent variable, which is plant growth, and we read it. If amount of light, then plant growth. Well, that does not make sense. So I'm going to hypothesize that if we increase the amount of light, then the plant growth will also increase. But you could put, if the amount of light increases, then plant growth will decrease, or vice versa. It really doesn't matter as long as you have a firm hypothesis. So if the amount of light increases, then plant growth will increase. And number 5, what effect does smiling have on teacher giving no homework? If independent variable, teacher smiling, then dependent variable, amount of homework. Well, we read it. If teacher smiling, then amount of homework. That doesn't make any sense. So we're going to say that our teachers, so if so we've made an, so if teachers smile more, then the amount of homework will increase. Or you could say will decrease. Either one. Either one will be fine. All right, so we formed our hypothesis based off our independent variable, our dependent variable, but we formed if, then it was independent, if our independent variable, comma, then dependent variable. That's how you set up your hypothesis, and then you have to rework it.